All right, I think I'm live. I'm wondering whether or not we have that split screen already up there. Maybe that is going to sit there through this thing. Hi, everybody. Dan Harrison, President and CEO, coming to you. Happy Friday. This is now the third Unity Forum, that virtual Unity Forum that we've been calling it. And it's a chance for us to maybe climb out of our head a little bit. This whole COVID thing is just sometimes gets a bit too much to stand. And I'm really looking for ways that we can begin to establish our own kind of virtual traditions and hear from different people that are doing such amazing things throughout the organization. The last two forums we had online were, well, I use the word dense, very heavy going, as my dad would have said, and I thought we could just use a little levity. So in a minute, I'm going to have Greg bring in our first guest. But before I do, who is Beth Sheehan, and then we're going to hear from Brett right a little bit. We're going to kind of read our mail, some of the feedback that you've given us. And then Ted Horn's going to join us to talk about some of the just amazing things that people all across this organization are doing virtually to support people in our programs. And this is something you're going to see more and more as we go in, considering this is, really only the third week since our lives were upended. There's a whole team that have been really working very hard on this, even as we've been trying to figure out the details around what COVID-19 means and how to take care of the people that have gotten it and all that. But we're not going to talk about that today. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you, many of you know her, Beth Sheehan, who has been an employee of this organization for 6 years. In fact, January 9th was her six-year anniversary. Greg, do we have Beth handy to bring on?
Beth, just remind me to turn on your webcam.
My webcam's not on?
No, that was for Beth. Sorry. There she is.
I was like, oh my God, people missed this page? Oh, I have to share this. Beth, I want to show you this t-shirt. Can you read it?
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
T-Rex hates egg hunts. So, in case you didn't know that. How you doing?
I'm okay.
You are.
I was telling Brett and them, like, I've hit that little wall, like, that just counting down, like, 2 more days. Just 2 more days.
For some reason, I was thinking today was your last day.
No,
But
it's
it'll be 2 weeks really for you, right? That you've been there. And 2 weeks you've been away from home.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just answering you, yeah.
You began to catch some attention, let's just say, a few years ago, of actually 4 or 5 to be exact, when you first started getting involved with our walk.
Yeah.
And I did a little digging in preparation. Well, I didn't do the digging. Somebody else helped me. But I think people here should know that you've been on the Elite Club 50, which is no easy task, I might add, for 4 consecutive years. And do you know that over the course of the 5 years that you've really been raising money, because you were the 60th person the first year you're in ranking, so you almost were Club 50, but you've raised over $5,700, $5,700 you've raised for NuPath. That's fantastic.
Well, it's what little I can do.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
we like on the fundraisers. It's fun. It's fun getting the clients involved. Me and Jen Brophy usually team up and do like our own. The first year I was in the top 50, Jen was my +1 to the garden party at the hotel, the luau. And then the next year, me and her just decided to just team up. We do a lot of different outside events. I mean, we help out with the pancake breakfast and everything, the spaghetti suppers, but we try to do outside stuff just to broaden our base. We actually had to cancel a couple of our fundraisers, obviously, but everyone who we had them set up with, they've already said as soon as this is all over, like everything. So we've developed some good fundraising relationships.
you're an example of how when you get to know somebody of a particular, knowing you work so hard on the walk, and I think it was the cruise that we did in the Boston Harbor that year, or maybe it was the year we were up in Portsmouth, where you and Jen were talking to me. You were just going through, and you were like, yeah, and you know, you had it all like in your head. Like, didn't I bring you over to a board member and make you like
I was,
recount?
you and, yep, you and Scott,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I, Cisco. I talked to a lot of board members that night. Don't remember talking to a lot of the board members, but I talked to a lot of board members that night.
Hey, it's a night to let your hair down and have a good time. Nobody's judging anybody. But I was so proud of you. I just like carting you around, like making you meet all these people and just climbing inside your head a little bit just to see the enthusiasm, the excitement, how you were very strategic about it. And look at you already talking about like rescheduling and everything. And most of us probably haven't looked back and even thought about the walk much since we've been dealing with COVID. But with knowing that about you, it wasn't any surprise to me when I heard your name being the first to volunteer, to step forward and to do this. Was it a difficult decision, or did you just do it because of the money, or did you do, well, probably not, but it sure helped.
It was a pretty easy decision. I mean, I live in my own apartment. I don't have really anyone who depends on me daily. I mean, I have my mom and my dad in Maine, who my father's not exactly happy with me at the moment. But I mean, so, well, no, because he's getting older, and I'm the baby, so he's like, oh, but you're gonna get sick. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get sick. All the precautions Sharon's been setting up for us, and I know that if I would want someone, like, these guys just needed someone to take care of them. Like, and everyone has been awesome. I mean, a huge shout out to like Elder and Matt Johnson. My first week there, Mike Edwards and I, like, we had 4 guys the first week, and we just tried to just do whatever we could. We watched a lot of Disney Plus. We watched Beauty and the Beast a lot. But Matt Johnson was awesome every time, because like we're trying to spoil them. So
Yeah.
like whenever I found something that one of them liked, I was texting Matt. Matt must have been to the building like 4 or 5 times last week, just dropping off stuff and then just checking in with us, and if we needed like outlets or stuff like that, and Elder too. So, and then this week I've been working with Stephanie from Westford and Kathy from the Martin Center, and now we're only down to 1. We only have the 1 left.
Kathy Downey? Who from the
No, she's Kathy the nurse.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
remember what her last.
Okay.
I'm awful.
Yeah, that's all right.
So
That's
I mean, so it's just, I mean, we were so happy to see them go home and that they were healthy, but it's like you spend a week with them, like more so than like how like you're just during the day, like taking them out and stuff, but you just spend 12 hours pretty much every day with them. Like you get like attached. Like Stephanie's been getting us updates on the 2 guys from Bradley Road, and so we're just happy that we were able to just make their day a little better and just make them happy. And
so here's a question. 2 questions, probably 1 or 2, but did people try to talk you out of it? Like, did you say your dad wasn't too keen on the idea? Did
No one
anybody seriously try to talk you out of it, or?
he didn't try to talk me out of it, because he wasn't going to talk me out of it. Like I had already, and he always taught us growing up, if your boss asks you to do something, you say yes. That's how he was. That's how I'm the youngest of 8. So like we all had that. If your boss needs you to do something, you do it. So.
Did your dad fight in any of the wars? Was he ever drafted?
He in the Army, but he wasn't. He never was in any of it. Worked out. He never was in any of the wars.
But he did enlist or was drafted or something. He did.
He was Army. He was stationed in Alaska for a couple of years.
Yeah. Okay.
Like way before I was born. Yeah.
So did you ever feel like, so he kind of let you know he wasn't too excited about the idea? You probably know that there's lots of people in this organization that probably thought you were crazy, probably still do.
Yeah.
I stumbled in. I think it was the first night you guys were there. I stumbled in. Like,
We were like,
my guy was like, "You're not supposed to be back here." Sharon Pitts would be really pissed if she found out you were back here. It's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't know." But did the fear of it seem a bigger deal than when you got in there and you just realized it was just a matter of just be careful
oh,
about having the safe, the safety precautions?
not really. I mean, honestly, it's not great to wear a mask 12 hours a day and like the
No,
goggles because
no.
my allergies have been really bad. So like I can't ever breathe through my nose anyways. So that was just making things a little hard. But no, I mean, Sharon set up this clear list of like everything, and I think at one point, oh, because I felt achy one day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not getting sick. But then
Right,
it's just
right.
being tough. So
Mhm.
I mean, I feel pretty confident like that
And
I'm gonna be.
you had the chance to go then to the hotel. Which hotel did you go to? Was it nice? It was over the one.
It's the one over on Washington Street, the Hampton Suites. It is really, really nice. It's got a nice little
It's brand new,
kitchen.
right? It's brand new. It just got built.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
not a
so
lot of
that
snow in
was
it.
the chance for you. So at least you had 12 hours to just have something to eat, chill, take a shower, whatever. And then did you find yourself refreshed to go in the next day? I mean, it seemed like
Yeah,
it was, yeah, yeah.
I mean, just
And
like a birthday, just
yeah. And you know what? Now you've got it over with, don't you? Basically, you be the first to volunteer is the first to do your service and get it
yeah.
down. And you're always going to have that. People have said that this is going to be an experience unlike any other in so many ways. That like anybody who was alive during 9/11 remembers probably to the minute what they were doing exactly. When this is a little different, but these are stories you're going to be telling. We'll be telling people. You'll be telling people for forever. And what you did and how you stepped up to the crisis. Oh, I just got on my screen. I don't know if you guys did. We're trying to do a few polls to do some. Do I have a? No, I really don't. I have a close. Oh, I try to do that. So, um, is there anything that you needed that you didn't have that you thought that if future staff were going in there, it would make something more comfortable or some way that we could have improved, the overall experience?
I mean, not really. Like I said, Matt and Elder and everybody were really great. Like if we needed stuff, we're getting it in. A lot of your staff too have been really good about. Emily dropped us off dinner one night. Tania dropped us off dinner one night with all the fixings. Thomas Lello dropped us off dinner last night and Sunday. So I
I heard
mean,
he makes a good soup.
oh, his chicken and rice soup was really good. The boys
I
all
heard.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really loved it.
So all those people cooked for you. I wish I'd known. I could have cooked something, you know. Did you like their cooking? Did
No,
you
that
that?
was really good. Emily made. I'm picky about mac and cheese, and I've told Emily. I said your mac and cheese is almost as good as your mac and cheese is just as good as my mac and cheese. She makes
Well,
her. I told her if she ever wants to make it for a staff meeting for downstairs, we'll totally be accept it.
I can see her doing that too. Emily's great. The whole clinical department, I think, is they've really stepped up. Um, okay, so if there wasn't anything major to be improved, what would you say to a staff person that maybe is on the fence to say, you know what, the thought of being furloughed or laid off or something, but I could just maybe take, maybe not necessarily in the center, but doing something different. Um, what would you say to somebody that was on the fence about it? You're feeling maybe I wouldn't know this environment, or I couldn't do this, or I'm afraid that it would screw up my schedule. What would you say to them?
As long as you follow all the rules that Sharon set up, the safety precautions, and like just the cleaning, like because we're constantly cleaning, and you keep yourself safe, you're fine. I mean, I've got to work with individuals who I haven't got to work with since I first started when they first came to NuPath. And the last couple days, the one we've had left, he doesn't go to our day program. Our
Mm,
day program. He lives in one of our houses, but he doesn't go to our day program. So I've got to know him.
mm.
So I mean, as long as like you don't mind doing like a little bit of extra cleaning, a little bit of hard work, like your day goes by fast. I mean, sometimes yeah, by 8 o'clock you're like, oh, is it 9 yet? But other than that, and too, as long as you build a relationship with whoever you're working with, like it makes your day go faster, and it doesn't make you like, oh, I gotta go work with that person today. Like,
Yeah, and you're gonna be sitting at home long enough. After this, now you're gonna quarantine. Are you gonna go to self quarantine for 2 weeks?
yeah,
Yeah, and we're paying for that, right? You don't have to use your time or anything, right?
yes, I
Or,
believe so.
yeah,
I'm pretty,
yeah, that's
yeah.
perfect. Beth, you're fantastic. We love you to pieces, and I hope there's a million hearts. Let's give Beth and all the other staff that are over there working. I'm snapping. I can't be clapping. You know, there's hearts that fly up. You can't see it, but if you're on your phone, if people like something, they push a like, and you'll see the hearts going up. So hopefully now there'll be a million hearts, maybe not a million, but there'll be a lot of hearts going up for you. I know you're tired, you're exhausted, you hit the wall, you're really ready to go home, probably just sleep in your own bed. It would be so nice. Although if you're sleeping in a nice, sometimes those hotel beds, especially if there's new.
A little soft, but other than that, it's nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you a million times over from everybody at NuPath and from our board. And you are a national hero and a national treasure to us. And we are so lucky to have you. Thank you for your service and for doing what you've done.
Thank you.
All right, get some rest and stay safe and healthy. Okay. All right, moving along. That's Beth Sheehan. She's a fantastic contributor to NuPath. Seems like there was something I wanted to mention, but you already saw the first poll come out, so we'll see if we get maybe you already get the results back. You know, we're trying all these different things because, you know, as we all learn or engage and embrace virtual technology and these different meeting formats, what I've said to the team is I really want, oh, look at that. Okay, so if you guys see what I'm seeing, 82%, or maybe you already saw this, do not know anybody so far, a close family member or a close personal friend. Yeah, I said no too. 18% say yes. So we're constantly trying to challenge ourselves, guys, and you know, just because you get through one virtual form or whatever, it doesn't mean that okay, we got through it, we're gonna let it be. We always want to be improving ourselves and challenging ourselves. So that's part of the reason why we often will ask for feedback. And I'm going to have Brett come join me in a minute before he's followed by Ted, but to just share maybe some of the high notes with you guys. You know, we don't, it's not always good that I'm looking to see if I can find one feedback that I was going to share, if I can find it. I might not be able to at this minute, but if Greg wants to send it to me, or if I do get it, but somebody had written in saying that that they felt like I was giving too much of a high overview or a global view of what was going on, and the feedback was, you know, we hear it enough on the radio, we hear it enough on TV. It's all anybody ever hears. We want to hear more of the NuPath experience, and and you know, there's times I get feedback and I think, you know, well, there's a reason why I do that. Sometimes but it does get me thinking, you know, and you know, I always wanted to give the context for some people that don't, you know, that don't maybe you know pay that much attention to the news, but nonetheless, I think it you know, even in the most subtle suggestions or something that occupies some of my space in my head, and so we're trying to like make the Tuesdays and Thursdays be a little bit more about um, you know, NuPath, what's going on in NuPath. But you know, frankly, so much of what we're doing is within context of something larger than us, and so sometimes there's going to be some bleed on that. But the good, the bad, I don't always like to hear the bad, but how can we improve? Oh, I hate that sound, and I meant to turn off my Outlook before. The other one I'm going to quick share, and then I'm going to have Brett come in. I got this card the other night. Oh, let's see if you can see it. This poo, well, it's just two, but you know, she'll pass. And you know, it was from Diane Sismico. We saw Diane Sunday night. I'm going to be real short here. And Diane's just, I've known her for years and years, but it was so nice to get this card. It came one evening when I needed it. And I just want to thank you and your team for all the dedication to the families and people you serve. So happy glad you did the Navigating Life. And thanks so much for the phone calls and the forums. It means a lot. And then she said this, and just to share, I was touched when you went to see your mother through the glass of the door. She says, I cried, especially with the other residents. We're glad to see you too. And then she says a few more things, but you know, no matter who we are, where we are, a word of encouragement goes a long way, and it can do a lot for the spirit, the soul. So if you know somebody that you see working extra hard or going above and beyond, I love it when Steph send me emails about Tom got an email. I forget who sent it, but raving about his. I heard more about Tom's cooking this past week than I ever thought I would in my life. So I love hearing stuff when good things are happening. Give a coworker a shout out. You know, it really not only does it make them feel good, it makes you feel good when you've done something that encourages people, raises their spirits, and this is the culture that we want to cultivate, and we want to do that. We'll do it for families, for everybody, if we can encourage them. You know, life's hard enough as it is. All right, Brett, are you in the echoes, in the winds, in the chambers to join me? Brett is going to, who is most of you, I'm sure, know Brett, our Vice President of Marketing Communications. There he is.
Hey, Dan.
I heard something on the news that there was all this worry about facial hair maybe being negative for COVID-19, but it was proved not to be true. Is that anything you've ever worried about? You know, it's harder to get it clean, but you're not worried about that. You cover it with your mask.
I'll clearly be shaving tonight now that you said that.
I did. I heard it on the news. I'm like, oh, you're gonna hear everything now.
I heard the same, but I figured it was one less step in the morning now that I have to take. So yeah.
Well, they say that it used to be like in the 19th century or maybe even early 20th century, the people thought that doctors should have beards because it created a sieve, a vent to keep germs from going up into your mouth and nose. But now people are saying, oh, you got to cut it off because you know what, anything's going to have but that's just a rumor. It's not been proved true. So I'm not going to spread this information. I'm just giving you a hard time. So do you have a couple high notes of some of the stuff? You know, we're really focusing on the positive stuff today. You and I have talked about this many times, but when the COVID hit us, in a way, I think it was like the Sunday or two afterwards, I was driving back to Northampton. You and I were on the phone, and it said, and I said, in a way, we've been, of all the organizations out there, we're probably about the most prepared that anybody could be for working like this because of some of the innovative things that we've been doing. I mean, people, number one, are used to seeing crazy centric videos from me just any old time. People are, enculturated to watch and do stuff through video. So right out of the gate, our staff are much further ahead. And our processes are set up. But so much of what you've been doing too, and I want to hear you when you bring Ted on board, the exciting things that are happening for so many people, and beginning to happen more. But I thought you'd start first with some of the feedback. And
I will, and I just wanted to say one thing. First of all, it's great to see Beth, and it was great to hear both of you talk about the walk. Which is, as you know, near and dear to my heart. And I realized this week that tonight, although our walk this year was scheduled for a week from tomorrow, this is actually the 1-year anniversary of last year's prep for the walk. So I just reminded Greg that he was in his office, in a mad frenzy, calculating who was going to make it to the top 50. And I was chasing people out in the parking lot.
Well, not quite yet. You were. It was at 5 o'clock. The light.
We were threatening people to get out of the parking lot before the tent folks showed up, and it's a crazy night. And boy, what I would give for that to be tonight. That's I'll never not wish that night again comes, if that makes sense.
Oh my God, you're so right. You're so right. And it's every year the walk. Yeah, did you remember the T-shirt that I showed people that I have on?
Yeah, I do.
I think you gave it to me about 3 years ago or something. It was after my surgery, and I still have it. I'd like to pull it out this time of year.
Okay, so
highlights. Well, working up at home, and everything's all right with you?
We're fine. We're fine. The boys are learning virtually, which has been a challenge, and keeping them on track and not sleep until noon. And both and I are, plugging away. Her company's working hard to keep the doors open and do everything they can. And there's a lot of similarities between, she works for a nonprofit as well. And so, we're in this boat together, and it's been interesting, but we're surviving. We haven't killed each other yet, so.
Haven't killed each other yet, huh?
Not
Well,
yet.
that's good. All right, so tell us about some of the things that you kind of comments, maybe just a sampling of some of the comments. And I'm going to turn off my Outlook if I can.
Okay.
I'm making that noise.
So these are some of the highlights. I'll read some of the small ones first, but survey responses have been really good. And forgive me that I'm looking down, but I'm reading these word for word here. But one of them said, "Right now is the best part of my day. TV coverage is exhausting, and the forum is reassuring." I like that one. And then there's sort of a smattering of other real positive ones. "Thanks for having this. It's helpful to meet this way to stay connected. We've got this. Thank you to the staff who are doing the webinars and for keeping us abreast of what's happening every day. Thank you to Dan and staff for all that you do. A very nice way to maintain a valuable bond under these very unusual circumstances." That's an understatement. "And thank you for all you do, all of you. And we know it takes a village, XOXO." So that was kind of cool. And then a little bit longer one that was a survey response said, "We have attended every virtual town hall thus far, are in awe of the team's tireless efforts in addressing just about every issue on our mind. During the first meeting, Dan had mentioned a family meme, Bet, asking how they could recreate their loved one's usual routine at Dayhab. I forgot about that you mentioned that. And this was a wonderful idea and got us right to work. We now have morning meeting, kitchen skills, exercise, arts and crafts, music, afternoon walks, and talking about missing all our peers and staff. We absolutely adore you and your hugely gifted staff."
Oh my God, that is so nice.
That's a great one. And then some general emails that have come in that were really thoughtful. "I want to thank you and tell you I am home and able to keep in touch with everyone with all the webinars and emails you have sent out. They really do help us feel connected. Keep them coming. I can't help to worry about our families and if they feel the same connection. Now that I know firsthand what it feels like to be home. I was able to go back to the webinar that you sent out yesterday and make sure I didn't miss anything to be clear on things. It worked. Thanks again, and keep us connected." And then I'll finish with a couple of texts. So, only in the NuPath world does our family out there feel that they can reply to a broadcast text. Well, I think that's, we all get text alerts, and we know that they're really the non-reply all text alerts, but we get them, and I want to thank people for sending them in. I read everyone, and I forward to all the appropriate people if there's people mentioned. Here's a really kind of neat one that came in early on. If possible, then this came through the text alert. If possible, would you be able to post a video or picture showing that no clients are at NuPath? That would give my son a concrete image versus just my own words. If it's okay to do so, could you take a video and have Amy and Matt say hi? So we got this to Amy and Matt, and they did the deed and made sure that everybody felt comfortable that we were in fact closed at 1:47. And I'll close with one last one, Dan. This was really thoughtful. "Hi, Dan. The below words are comforting to me and calming. I would like to share them. Regardless of where you are today, at some point, fear will creep in. Don't give your energy to it. You can acknowledge the emotion and its purpose to persevere and protect. Take pause in these moments of fear to fill your heart and soul with life's beautiful gifts. There is more to your day than fear. Everyone on this planet has the ability to affect another. Do your best to keep your positive vibe. Together, we can create an even brighter light. So that was pretty cool.
Hey, you know what? You said about text, it made me think of what I got from Bob Hunter. And he had a picture of Kevin, who he had taken out to Horn Pond in Woburn. I'm going to see if you can see it. Again, he caught this fish in Horn Pond, right? And Bob writes, March 11th, we caught this. April 9th, we got this. And then he said, thanks for leading this. But I thought that was so clever.
That's great.
Clever and supportive. You know, it's just taking a minute. And there's so many behind that. And it makes me proud because this is the culture that we have sought to inspire and to support and sustain throughout this organization. When we talk about cubics, that's the reference to the, dinosaur. We talk about our core values, not just during times of crisis, but all year long, year after year, they are part of our driving force. And this is what guides us. And when we hit, we've always said, if we wait till things get really rough at some point in time, it's too late to worry about building community, to learn how to share, to learn how to collaborate. Those things need to be done as regular practice, day after day, day after day. And I believe that's exactly what we've done. And for the core people that are out there that are making this organization run and move and advance, even during this darkest time, you are NuPath. Families, anybody that's connected in however you can, you're making it great. So I will dedicate the rest of this to letting you guys share how you are taking this virtually. There's a lot been talked about it, but you put your foot to the pedal, and you guys have gone, and the teams have just been incredible what they've begun to produce. So maybe just an outline so families, if they didn't know, could start to be looking for some of this stuff, or could ask for it if they don't have it.
Absolutely, yeah. Ted's we'll kick to Ted. He's gonna talk about the teleservices program that we have and the groups we pulled together, and we got a million task forces working in tandem to make sure that this all goes off without a hitch. And there's Ted.
Hi, everybody.
Ted found out about an hour ago that he was that I wanted him to do this.
I would have worn a collared shirt. I wouldn't have worn dress pants, but I would have faked it with a collared shirt or something.
I told Beth what she wasn't seeing is that I have a pair of ripped jeans on below all this.
I was
At least you're wearing pants.
Yes.
Oh wait, we're virtual. There's a lot of people out there.
Yes.
Okay. Let's turn this over to Ted and let him talk just for a few minutes about what we've been doing. And some people might not even know it. People have been so just uniformly focused just on the health and safety and knowing that you guys are doing this in the wings and getting ready for this, because this is how we're going to sustain that. And another thing, this is going to be the future. This is what we're doing now is going to set a standard for a new world order. So, Ted.
Great. Thank you, Dan. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to find excitement in the midst of what we're going through, but I do get to share today what I think is some really good progress. Greg, can you share the screen while he's doing that? So just a little overview, and this isn't going to be any kind of academic presentation or anything like that. This just gives a view of what's going on behind the scenes. And Brett just shared a message from one of the families of trying to replicate the day, because people have lost their consistency. They've lost the continuity that they rely upon every day. And we've got our legs under ourselves now. It was a shock of having to close our programs. But with our legs under us, we've been able to the best of our ability, start to restore some of that consistency that people rely upon. So what you see here is there's two things. When we talk about teleservices, there's two things going on. One, telehealth, and Sharon's team of nurses, and I'm not going to go through every nurse because I'd miss one of them. So it's just a shout out to all of the nurses that, the Monday after we closed, they were on telehealth. They were checking in twice a day with the people from our programs because, the trigger for closing our programs, there is a healthcare crisis behind it, and they were responding immediately to that need. As we've gone on, we recognize that the roster of people we serve, up to over 300 people every day, the numbers are big. So we've expanded that beyond the nursing telehealth case management. We're also now doing something called a wellness triage, and that's got a number of managers and rehab managers and case managers reaching out to everybody that we serve and doing this wellness triage to support the nursing effort there. Through that wellness triage, there's been a couple of concerning health information that was found, and that gets shifted right to the nurses to then manage the case going forward and help to coordinate healthcare services and whatnot. Shifting over to the other side, which is growing, it's really heating up this week, and going into next week, it's very exciting what we are looking forward to. And that's that remote programming that people rely upon. I'm going to give a shout out to the employment team, the employment coordinators. Again, the Monday after we closed, actually the Friday that we closed, they were on this. They were starting virtual job coaching and counseling right away. The reality is we still have people working in critical infrastructure industries. We still have people that we support working in hospitals, grocery stores, whatever it may be, and they need access to their employment coordinators. They need access to the job coaching. And this is something we had been starting months before. We had been starting to get into this virtual job coaching for months. And it is true that we were uniquely prepared for this, at least from the employment, the access to that employment expertise is needed. What's really building this week, and is probably the most exciting, as I go through this, Greg, you can share that next screen there, because you have to see it to really experience it. But a robust schedule is being built upon, and we're learning each day what's the best way to deliver this. Through the wellness triages, we've been reaching out to everyone we serve to find out what access they have to devices that can connect remotely to the schedule that we have. We're using the Zoom platform. That seems to have been the easiest and most consistent platform for what we're trying to deliver here. And there's so much on the screen, it's probably too small to read, but just going through really quickly what we're offering in a menu right now in front of us. Emily, her name's come up before and it's going to come up again. Morning meeting is a very important part of our programming. It's something people rely upon each morning. And Emily was the first to jump up and get this morning meeting started. And Greg, can you share the next screen? The response to the morning meeting has been fantastic. You can see this. I just grabbed a screenshot from one of the morning meetings this week, and the attendance has been phenomenal, but the engagement is probably what's most important with it. That you can see that this isn't a show that's being put on. This isn't something you can go and watch a YouTube video. This is bringing people together that have been separated through no choice of their own through the forced closure of our day programs. And this has been a medium that gets people's day started, gives the consistency, gives the engagement and the interaction that they've been longing for to start their day off. The schedule is built upon that. Greg, if you want to throw the next slide up. Other things that have been added this week, and the menu continues to grow. Brian Ellsworth has been doing a remote job camp. He's done several sessions now. I see on the schedule here, he's got a couple of other offshoot endeavors beyond the job camp, including one thing called Bry's Live, which is a question and answer session. And he's also done beyond job camp an introductory employment, for people at this time who may be thinking, that, I'm interested in starting a path to employment, that he's meeting that need by opening himself up and being accessible to those people and those groups in this format. Our day rehabilitation program has started a mid-morning meeting, Holly's meet and greet. Mike Edwards, you can see here, he's in that middle, on that sidebar there, the middle screen. His noontime social has been absolutely fantastic. It's everything and anything for the people who are participating in that. We've added some self-help skill sessions, and what we're going to see going into next week, it's exciting to see how each day things have grown and this menu's grown. We have a baking class going on Monday afternoon. Jan is going to be introducing us to origami, so get your paper together, because he's going to be sharing of himself a talent that he has, that gives us an opportunity to do something at this point, to engage in something that we may not have engaged in before. Ken's going to be starting, Ken, one of our famous Without Walls leaders. He is now in a management position, but he's going to be sharing his expertise in a virtual forum of bringing the Without Walls program to us virtually. And there's a lot of great resources out there, but it's exciting to see that, because we're all trapped in four walls right now. Whether you have to go into an office as an essential employee or whether it's in home, we're all trapped inside of four walls. And that virtual Without Walls is going to give us an escape. It's going to give us that opportunity to see that there are things outside of our houses, and give us something to look forward to when this is over, but also probably, and well, not probably, definitely experience things through that virtual forum that we may not have been able to access before. So things are heating up. Where we are responding to needs. There's been about a dozen people who have identified that they don't have access to devices to engage in these. We're going to be delivering access next week to those dozen people. And as we find more needs, we will respond to that. We want anybody who wants to engage in this to have access to engage in that. So that's a very quick overview. If there's questions, I can elaborate more, but I just wanted to give a quick overview. In terms of shout outs, I don't want to miss people. So again, I'm going to do it in more generalities. The entire nursing team, jumping on it right away. The employment coordinators, getting right to it and not missing a beat with it. The clinical department, jumping in and seeing how they can do indirect therapies through this format. Brian, James, and Justin and Amy, and everybody else on the wellness triage team, and now the remote programming side of things. I'm sure I missed someone, but if you're involved in this, you're serving an important need. It's important to know we're doing this, this is an opportunity to us to continue our services, and we're partnering with Mass Health as well as Department of Developmental Services. This is an opportunity for us to continue to deliver our services and bring in some revenue with it. But it's the right thing to do, because we talk about being a safety net, but when we do the wellness triages and we see what we're delivering through this remote programming, we're a safety net in so many tangible ways that we see it through those groups. And the people we serve need this. So I encourage, Dan has done he's done a call out to staff to respond to the needs in our programs, in our houses in this critical time. If you have an hour, if you have 15 minutes, you have 20 minutes, like Jan stepping up with the origami, Emily hosting the baking session, and I'm not going to say more because I'll miss someone. Share your strengths, share your expertise, share your needs, because we want to have a really robust program going forward with this. So I'm going to stop talking now.
Ted, we worked together a long time, many years, and you've been, the tip of the spear in so many different important initiatives. When we closed our sheltered workshop back in the day, when it was a real nightmare, when you think about it, how far we've come philosophically. And then when we began to shift to, we started working with Jenny Sassett. You were the one that was like, you need to get in there, because this woman's come all the way up from Virginia, and I think it would be just the basic thing that you can do. And of course, the story, better than anyone. I came and sat down, and I first listened to Jenny Sassett, and I was like, and that was, I mean, then we went from there. We went to DC and came back, and you led the whole, Crusader community Crusaders, and we changed to community. What did we change it to? Sorry, that's
Always
another.
Crusaders. We'll always be the Crusaders.
And in each of these points, you have what I just value so much about you and I love about you is that not only do you keep things sustained, but you do it with creativity, ingenuity, including people, and making it a shared objective in a way that promotes the central message. And that takes a lot. That old metaphor. Everyone wants to plant a garden, but nobody wants to weed one. But you are out there weeding our garden and helping us cultivate and train and grow and develop our team so that when we face a big crisis like this and we need to respond, there's just hardly a question. People know what to do. And it's just been extraordinary to hear about it. And when we were moving to the sheltered workshop, we were one of the first to get rid of our Department of Labor certificate. And we were one of the first to have the small studio spaces that were more sort of generalized to a broader population. And I believe this is a chance for us to show how to do things right when it comes to virtual, or at least real creativity, and what we're going to be able to share with others.
And this is going to change. You said that things are going to be different after this. And the lessons that we're learning with this, it's interesting. I'm part of the Leo from the ARC has a technology task force, and there's some DDS people on that task force, and a wide span of different industry leaders on it. And our last meeting was on the Thursday before we closed. And we were talking about some of the problems about how to get things started. And I'm on the day services one, and talking about, the challenges of, how do we just push forward remote job coaching? How do we push forward, some of these opportunities that we see in front of us? And here we are doing it. And, the internal task force that we have here, we're talking yesterday, and we see a future where, through this menu of opportunities people have, we see an opportunity in the future where there's a really great activity going on at New Boston Street, and there's people in Westford that would love to participate in it, that they're going to be able to just press a button and join in on it. That there's people, that may be at home and they get home from work at 2 o'clock that can join into services remotely. So this is, the better we do this here now, the more opportunities there will be for it in the future. And it's just going to help people, expand their options during the day, for, truly meaningful days that are meaningful to them, where they can look at a menu and choose a menu that fits their interests and their needs. And I see, we said it yesterday on the group, things are going to look a lot different in the future doing this, and it's going to give people more opportunities.
Mm-hmm. For sure it will. And I can't wait to just see where some of this takes us. Anybody can put together some, program, stolen from, or, copied from online. But to do it with the kind of creativity and the customization that you do, and I mean, it really feels like it's a genuine kind of an output, a product of our sort of combined spirit and commitment to trying to shape the future for people with disabilities. And I know that sounds kind of lofty and heady, but I really believe it, and I know you do too. It's urgently important. I have a video I wanted to show you real quick, and then I know you've been on a while, so see how it works. But let's see if I can do this. Let's see. I'll try this.
Happy birthday.
Well, I screwed that again. I screwed that up. I couldn't figure out a little ditty I wrote for you.
Happy birthday.
Or did you think I was
I
going to
love
forget?
the public attention.
Did you think I was not going to stay up till all hours making you a pyramid of ricotta lemon cupcakes
My favorite.
and with birthday napkins for your birthday? And oh, what's this? It looks like got your name on it. It's Ted from NuPath. What could it be? Oh, look.
How do I shut this camera off?
And wait, let's see what it says. It's like, well, you see it's in T-Rex. Oh, I have to get my glasses for this. All of NuPath, we all wrote it at the same time. Hope your birthday is terrific. Thanks for all you do for us, Ted. I wrote this part. For being a terrific trainer, for being a dynamite support to our staff and programs, and for your T-Rexcellent, that one was right, creative genius, dedication, and service. We love you, Ted. Love NuPath. So, gee, it would be bad you're not here to.
You can bring him over to Bedford.
I will. You know what? If you're gonna be there a couple more minutes, I got to head out to Northampton. I'm gonna be hitting the road any minute, so I'll stop by. Ted, you are somebody that works. I know you hate this, and you so want me to shut up.
I'm blushing. I'm right.
You are in a way the best example of a servant leader that ever was. You create the training programs and the infrastructure, the opportunities, and provide the resources in so many ways to help others to achieve their very best and to be their best and to make this organization the best. We could not do it. And so much of the time, the stuff you're doing is kind of in the background. It's behind the scenes. You're not clawing your way to be center stage. You're not trying to be in every video.
Or any.
I wish you'd be happy to take over any of the videos for me, whatever you want. But I know so many of us here at NuPath, and there better be a million hearts going up, guys, for Ted Horn. Ted, you've just been an absolute just terrific, and we value you and appreciate you and respect you so much for what you do. Thank you for being in such a important place during this time when we need everybody at their very best. And I just thank you for being the kind of leader that we need for people that are looking for leadership during this time of crisis. You're awesome. So what are you going to do for your birthday at home tonight?
Quarantine.
So it's going to be different from other nights because
Another day of self-isolation. Yep. Social distancing.
Got the cupcake. I'm not giving all those to you, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I made most of these for Easter, for John. But when I had the idea about an hour before this, I just grabbed them.
The thought that counts.
But I really like to have a few because God knows we don't need them. I don't know. I've been baking a lot lately. I think whenever I feel anxious, I feel anxious. Okay. Greg, are there any questions for Ted? Because we're pushing up on 3. And
No questions for Ted. Just quite a few birthday shout outs and some folks asking if they can, I don't know, get a Ted t-shirt.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Could we, but speaking of t-shirts, we have designed, maybe some of you saw it. I saw it in the pictures that Ted had up there. It looks like some people were highlighting it. This is our new merch. Can you get this on our store? Yeah, I think maybe you can. First, I think we're giving it away to people that have done assignments with directly, but this is our COVID-19 2020 social distancing champions. I got to get one of those. I hope it comes. Oh, because it comes in gray or heather. So if you don't have your NuPath Inc. shirt yet, it's gonna be a collectible. Once we're through this. All right, guys, it's been a long week, and I am I'm gonna try to get a little rest this weekend. Happy Passover, happy Easter, happy everything. Try to find virtual ways to show love for your family. I'm not gonna be able to see my niece or my nephews or my mother. Or it's gonna be a weird time, but do something that brings you joy. Try to find a way to be thankful for the things that we have. We have each other. We have smart people that care deeply, that are all working towards the same goal. And we found out that we got our loan came through at some point yesterday evening. That's excellent news. So things are falling into place in that regard. This is tough. This is going to change our culture, our sense of self, our relationships with each other. I hope that if you're a staff person out there, that you find yourself a part of this, and don't sit this one out, guys. You don't want to be on the sidelines. Not at a time like this when we need all hands on deck. And we're gonna be so proud of the noble and the transformative steps that we're going to take together as an organization to support our families and our clients and all of us, each other. Yeah, this is not a time for people to be hiding in the cheap seat. We want you to show up. Okay, guys. Hey, loved you all, and thank you so much for all you're doing to get us through this. We got this. Over and out, guys. Bye.